the highly controversial opening ceremony of the Olympics game, where Christians around the world were shocked by the mockery of their beliefs, an organization called Citizen Go, a group of concerned citizens, sought to raise awareness about this issue. They decided to drive the Citizen Go campaign bus around Paris to spread the message to stop mocking Christians and to promote their petition at stopattacksonchristians.org. However, they were soon intercepted by the police officers. In their press release, they described the incident, stating, "Armed police surrounded the bus and stopped it at gunpoint." They also mentioned that their members were taken to the police station before being transferred in handcuffs to a second, more secure facility, treated as if they were criminals. Churches are burning, Christian pro-life groups are being refused rental spaces, and wokeists are repeatedly attacking this religion.
Within the rules, we asked if there was a need for permission. It seems like it's obviously about the message. It seems like it's an ideological attack against Citizen Go. So we'll keep you updated. We'll let you know what's happening right this moment as we're being taken away as criminals.
Now concerned Christian citizens are being handcuffed for spreading a message to stop attacks on their faith. Once again, society is demonstrating a double standard when it comes to tolerance and acceptance. Despite advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion, these principles don't seem to apply to people they disagree with. Today, we are joined by Jason Peter Stein, their media campaigner, who was arrested that day along with other members.
We are a group of concerned citizens from 5 different continents. We advocate for family, life, and freedom. So when I say these 3 points, a family is more for traditional family roles and children's innocence. For life, we are pro-life. We support and promote marches for life around the world. And we cherish all life from the unborn to the elderly. And for freedom, we advocate for personal freedom, autonomy, and self-governance. So what we had done is we hired a media bus, sort of a advertising billboard, moving billboard, from a company in Spain who to circulate around the city of Paris during the Olympics, while at the same time our team was filming speeches for media content at iconic locations such as the Eiffel Tower and the Notre Dame de Paris, different points like that. And the idea was to spread awareness to a petition that we wanted people to sign, that we were going to deliver to the International Olympic Committee. Even though certain people of the Olympic Committee and the organizers of the opening ceremony have denied that this was a mockery of Christianity, we have seen on behind the scenes on Instagram and TikTok and other places, the people who were involved are very proud of the fact that they've insulted Christians worldwide and that they can kind of get away with it. And it's something that it just kind of disgusted us, that we could just be walked over like this and they could seemingly have no repercussions. This is the faith of over 2 billion people, and it's held very deeply, and this isn't a joke. So the bus was busy traveling around. At the time, it was at the Arc de Triomphe. We were personally at the Notre Dame, and the bus was stopped at gunpoint by the police, and the bus driver called us and said, "Help, I don't know what's happening," because the bus driver is Spanish, doesn't really speak French. So we arrived there by taxi about 15 minutes later, and the French speakers on the team spoke to the police and explained that no, this is just a billboard. There's no one on the bus. There's no blocking that we're planning or anything like that. And they said, okay, we'll take us back to the station just for a statement, and we can sign the statement. Naively, we went along. And when we got there after about half an hour in holding. They told us that we were under arrest and the matters escalated to the National Police.
Did they say what is the main reason why?
When we asked why, they said it's because we are accused of organizing a protest without permission.
But it was not a protest, as you mentioned.
Exactly. And this is exactly why we managed to have all charges dropped eventually. We suspect that they were really stretching the law when under the case of the French Supreme Court dated 12 February 2022, it states a convoy may or may not be considered a demonstration. Now, a single vehicle is not a convoy. This was relating to, I suspect, the farmers' protests that were happening all over Europe at the time. And so they really pushed this outside the limit of the definition that was taken by the Supreme Court to say that this was a convoy, and this is why it's deemed a protest, and this is why it's okay to arrest us as the organizers, even though it was only one vehicle.
And so how many of you got arrested, and how long have you been detained for?
We were 6 of us from Citizen Go, and the bus driver, who's not a member of Citizen Go, he's a contractor. And we were detained from 7 p.m., and the last of us, we were finally finished with the last interrogations at 2 p.m. the next day.
Wow. And so until now, is there any charge or any anything that is like under your shoulder right now?
No. All charges have been dropped. The arrest was worth nothing. It never went to court. It was determined that there was no crime. The reason why we were let go is they could not have us in jail any longer because the accusation was found to be baseless. They treated us like we were some sort of drug lords or violent thugs who were smuggling things inside the holding cells. And any person would realize that that is not even the reason why we were there. Why would we even have that? But we were still subjected to all the same stuff. And this was quite embarrassing, and not just that, but traumatizing for especially the women, because it's not dignified. It's really undignifying. And the fact that we knew all along this was all for nothing, and this was all just baseless, made it even worse. It was like we were being paraded.
Do you think they did that on purpose, that you were not doing it again?
I think there's a definite political reason for these actions. And, it's a simple message. We asked them not to attack Christians, and yet they attacked us. And they really dragged it all out. And we are considering suing the Attorney General.
Do you believe that they will have done the same if it was another religion?
My personal opinion, I don't think so. I think that Christianity is uniquely stigmatized, especially in Europe these days, under the case of tolerance, to say that, okay, well, we have to be tolerant of everything except Christians.
Do you think it's something that happened with the fact that we have a little bit of cancel culture? We are accusing a lot of Christians to have done different things in the past that is not really glorious. Do you think it's because of that now everybody is targeting Christian?
Persecution is not uncommon to us. We've been subjected to it for 2,000 years. So it's I don't think it's a new thing. This is just the current cycle. And every generation, I think, has their own cycle. Of course, during the Second World War, there was a unique cycle there with the communists and the Nazis. Now our current cycle is cancel culture, and who knows what will be 50 years from now.
What was the main message? And now I give you the opportunity to give the message to tell the people around.
To stop this mockery and blasphemy and just this assault on Christianity. We aren't doing anything to instigate it. We don't deserve it. every single time that something has come up in the media of, in Canada you had these issues with the mass graves, that was found to be false. There were times before with even in India with monasteries, and that was also found to be false. It's always just baseless claims, and it's always just attacks for no reason, and it's really, really hurtful. And when these things are done to other religions, there's always a defense that comes by from one country or another, and it's always been put down as, no, this shouldn't be done. This isn't something that you do to people. But we've never given the same grace. In fact, the sad thing is that it was Islamic leaders that actually denounced this the most. We had silence from Christian countries. I find it disappointing. And I feel that just because, at least on paper, we're sitting in the majority, that we do not need any sort of a backup from the world leaders. But just because there's a lot of us doesn't mean that we don't deserve the same kind of treatment. This kind of hate is perpetuated constantly, and it just shouldn't be done, no matter where it's done, no matter if it's to churches or to any other sort of religious institutions. Violence is never the answer to these kinds of situations, and it's deeply hurtful that it just gets ignored and continued.
This continues my report on the France issue. As you know, we are covering stories internationally, and it is important that we are shedding the light in other countries, because soon it might happen in our country here in Canada. So if you want to support my work on France, you can support me at friendsonfire.com. It is really on fire, as you can see right now. So thank you for supporting our journalism. Thank you for just donating what you can. And I hope you enjoy our coverage. So I repeat, friendsonfire.com.